Going live. Okay.
Startup sequence activated.
Got the invite going. Gotta do a little promo. Slap some Discord channels with some link.
Oh, man.
That.
Gonna be
You're beating me to all these.
What?
Beating me to all these.
I'm just that good.
There we go.
All you need to know.
All right. Hey, Howard. All right, we are back. Today's probably going to be a tired stream. Meso and I are both feeling a little under the weather, but it's mostly just tiredness right now. So it's doable. It's doable.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. Hey, Howard. It's gonna be real low key on my end. I mean, I'm still gonna go kill zombies. Let's not lie, but I'm not gonna be working towards a whole bunch of progress and stuff. I'm just gonna probably be randomly wandering around killing zombies.
So what happened to Divinity? Yesterday, Meso and I were both feeling quite a bit under the weather, and so decided laying down was the better option. And I agree.
Yeah, we needed rest. Definitely needed rest. I don't feel great, but we did miss you guys. I felt really bad about canceling yesterday. Like, I kept thinking, no, maybe I'll feel better, and we could do the stream, but it got like right up to time, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen today. Hey, little red bird.
Okay, so that's fixed.
Hey, rude dog.
Hey, Black Ass.
I do feel like I could probably make it through 2 hours today. I'm really glad that we don't do like
10-hour streams or what have you.
6, 7, 8 hour streams. I was like, I could probably do 2 hours. That'll probably be all right.
Okay, so one of the things we decided is that we're going to start ramping up towards our finale for this series. Looks like Sorcery is going to be the next series. That should be fun and entertaining. That's a mod I haven't played with before, so there will be a lot of new stuff for me, which, surprise.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
But...
And I've tried to keep not knowing anything. I want to go in kind of blind, and then try to figure stuff out as we go. So this will be unlike every other series that we've done, where we like, oh, we're super knowledgeable, or at least, you know, decently knowledgeable about this. This is how you do everything. This is what you want to do. This is where you want to go. No, we're going to be total noobs. It's going to be great.
Noobs. Yeah, my only exposure to it was Lainey's Dark Sorcery series that she did, and things have changed since then. So should be entertaining. But
hey, Mabel.
In the ramping up for our finale, the plan is that we will build a horde base in the wasteland. Jeez, I'm just hitting everything along the way, aren't I? We'll build a horde base in the wasteland and do our horde there. This means I'm going to need crap tons of titanium, though, so expect a whole bunch of boring mining.
Digging. Yay!
Okay, this needs to happen. Because I need to get that titanium going to build a base.
She pooped a bag.
She pooped.
She pooped.
How hard did you squeeze her?
Hard enough to make her poop, apparently. Yeah, I was telling Venom, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be really low energy, unless I start talking about Starfield, and then I might get on a tear. That I might be. Or like gaming industry as a whole. We all want me to argue and just... Piper, our daughter, said that I sounded like a conspiracy theorist when I start talking about that stuff. I'm like, but it's real. It's really real. It's not a conspiracy. She's like, I know. I'm just saying.
It's not really feeling rough. The past few nights have been... What the hell? Oh, hello.
My senses have picked up something.
Well, I've been coughing at night. Like when I lay down. When I sit up, it's not very bad. I don't cough very much at all. But when I lay down, I start coughing, and I don't want to keep Venom up because he's got to work. So then I would come out and try and sleep on the couch, and our couch is about 17 years old, and it feels every single one of those years. And so I'm trying to sleep on the couch, but everything's just getting all kerfuffled, and it's just not very comfortable, and so I don't get much sleep, and then I feel even worse the next day, and that went on for a couple nights, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try and sleep in the bed. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try and sleep in the bed, prop myself up. Hopefully I won't cough too bad. And it went pretty well last night. He said I didn't keep him up coughing, so that was good.
I didn't notice you coughing at all, so.
Tinky says, oh, keep him awake. It'll do him good. Nice. Nice. It's only a conspiracy until it isn't anymore. That's right, Root Dog, exactly.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not actually after you.
Well, like, okay, I understand. Like, saying they're like literally teams of people trying to manipulate you with game design and trying to separate you from your money. It does kind of sound like a conspiracy, but it's absolutely true. In fact, I heard some people talking about it just today, as a matter of fact, that like the largest growing place to use your psychology degree is in gaming.
Really?
Because they want people who are going to be able to, you know, do that money squeeze and try and manipulate people on like mobile and gacha games. It's a huge amount of research and stuff that's gone into this. And it makes so much money that people just don't care if it's evil.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just video games. To be fair, it's not. It's like all marketing, but I mean, video games are my happy place. Like, I understand that people are gonna advertise, you know, burgers and medicines and all kinds of stuff. I guess maybe I'm just kind of used to that, but don't come for my games, yo. It's my happy spot. But anyway, so Starfield is the new Bethesda big game that they've been working on for years. It's also been, oh, where did I put my bike? Where they've been working on it for years, but they've also delayed it because it was supposed to come out in November. They let out like this little tease that it was supposed to drop on 11/11/22, and it's not supposed to come out then anymore. They pushed it back because apparently it's just not ready yet. It's true, a fool and his money are soon separated, but you don't have to be a fool to fall for these deceptive practices. They do it because they know how human brains work, and they specifically target it. So even if you're a really smart person, you can fall prey to these deceptive practices. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm trying to talk about Starfield. That's right. So anyway, I've heard a lot of things about it, in that people have a lot of hot takes. They're like, oh, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be the worst game that ever existed. Primarily because people have kind of lost faith in Bethesda. They've had problems, obviously, with their games being buggy and stuff for years, but people still loved them and bought them in massive quantities because underlyingly so, they were good games and people enjoyed them. And the last couple games that they've put out, I mean, even they got caught up in the gacha mobile stuff because they put out Fallout Shelter, which was free to play, and it had like a little cash shop where you could buy the speed ups and stuff, but it wasn't like super egregious and you really didn't have to use them. You could still play it without. But they tried to make a mobile version of Skyrim, and it was so universally hated because of its monetization attempts that they actually pulled the plug on it.
Yep.
Hey, Mrs. Buttocks.
So, Justin, you said you missed the intro, starting another gamer mod. Yeah, so this series is going to be winding down, or ramping up, if you will. I'm trying to gather a whole bunch of titanium because we're planning on building up a horde base in the wasteland. That'll be the finale, is actually running a horde in the wasteland and see if the base will stand up, and if we'll stand up. And after that winds down, we are going to be spinning up. We're looking at sorcery, so we'll be running the sorcery mod and checking that out. That's a mod that neither Meso nor I are exceptionally familiar with, so we're walking in not completely blind because I've seen some other YouTubers play it, but
You know, there's magic. That's about it.
yeah. And I know that's elemental. I know there's frost, fire, lightning, and I think there was one more, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking at frost. Typically go frost mage when that type of thing is an option.
There's frost, lightning, fire, and I think there was also like arcane?
Maybe that was it.
Question mark?
So yeah, that's kind of the plan. So that's why I'm going to be doing a lot of boring mining. But hopefully Meso can fill in the boring gaps with her tirades on Bethesda.
I'm not. Look, guys. Look. Okay. There's a lot I could say about Bethesda. I could go on and on for days. All right. But I'm trying to be optimistic. There's a lot of people with their hot takes. They're saying this is going to be the worst game that could ever exist. And there's reason why people are skeptical, okay? Which is why I'm telling you about, like, they've been selling Skyrim for, like, on every platform that ever existed for the last 10 years because they really haven't. I mean, that was the best game that they've come up with,
Yep.
I think. In my personal opinion, that was the best that they ever did. Because technically, New Vegas, which is also universally loved, wasn't really a Bethesda game. That was an Obsidian game.
Yep. It was just published by Bethesda.
And it was screwed over by Bethesda, probably because people were going to like it more. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. The point is that a lot of people didn't really like Fallout 4. They felt it went too far away from the core of the Fallout, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't really an RPG, yada, yada. I think a lot of that's bullshit. It's not a perfect game. There's a lot wrong with it, and I didn't particularly like the main quest. I thought the main quest was dumb. But that's irrelevant. The rest of the game I really liked. I really had a lot of fun in that game. In fact, I just reinstalled it today because I was like, you know what I haven't done in a long time? I haven't played the Far Harbor DLC. And when I was just starting out, I was a super baby noob streamer. That's the very first thing I streamed was Fallout 4 because I love talking about it. And I can talk about it. I just gabble on about it for hours, literal hours and hours. No, necromancy wouldn't work. They're all dead anyways. Yeah, but then you can make them your minions, though. That would be so cool.
You could start a family.
Unholy is slowly being introduced in 1.3. I
Really?
could be a necromancer? Oh my god, that's like my favorite thing ever. Anyway, back to Bethesda. I'm trying to stay on track, guys, I swear. Is he trying to slap that zombie? He's slapping that zombie. Oh no, he has a knife. Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, I would have loved it if he was slapping that zombie. That would have been so much better. Anyway. So, I actually really liked Fallout 4. There were definite parts about it that I don't care about. The settler system. When I first played it, I thought that the settlers were going to, like, take up the settlement and they were going to start like working on it and they were going to like start producing things, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I only bring this up because for the latest on Starfield, they're like, oh, and you can hire people to work your settlements in space, and I'm like, so help me, if they have a space Preston Garvey, I am going to scream. And I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. I think a lot of people are afraid that they're going to have these procedurally generated Radiant Quest things that they've been working on for years, and it's just going to turn into Preston 2.0 in space.
Yeah, I've got this thing you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've said, okay, that there's over 1,000 different planets and over 100 different solar systems that you can go and visit. And it's not just like individual cities where you like, there's only these spots that you can go and look at. You can go anywhere on these planets and go investigate and look and see what's there. And people are like, okay, so they're going to be ultra boring and there's going to be so many that it's just going to have nothing. Well, they have said that some of them are basically barren planets that just have resources, and I don't know what the ratio of like super cool planets with lots of stuff to do versus planets that are basically just to dip in and get resources are going to be. Black Asp says, whatever you do, when you do your sorcery playthrough, don't have Mischief Maker. Is that a weapon?
Is that a weapon or a perk?
Oh, it could be a perk. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Don't spoilers, please. Anyway, so Bethesda, yes. Starfield. So there's 3 different factions, at least that we know of, that you can join. And you'll be able to craft weaponry, and you'll be able to craft your spaceship. You'll also be able to make settlements, and you'll be able to fly your own spaceship, and you'll be doing spaceship combat as well. I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm not super up on spacey games. But I know that a lot of people would really enjoy that. They're saying that like you can make your settlement pretty much anywhere, and it looks like you'll put down like a beacon that will give you a radius that you can build in, and then there are these like modules for like different rooms and things, and you'll need resources to build up these modules. It's an add-on that uses Twitch. Oh, don't worry. Don't you worry, we will not be using Twitch integration.
No.
Don't you worry your pretty little head about that.
Well, we're not even on Twitch, so.
I know, exactly. So you definitely don't have to worry. Even if we were, I'd be like, and no. Anyway, so yeah, about Starfield. So some people are cautiously optimistic, and they're like, well, it could be really good. And the fact that they're kind of putting it off and they're still working on it instead of trying to hustle it out could be good news. And other people are, of course, doomsaying and say, oh, this is going to be the worst, and you know, it's going to be the most lamest thing ever. I think some people were going by the very first part of their little demo thing that they put. It was Todd Howard talking about it and releasing some footage and stuff on, I think it was at some expo or something. And the very first thing that they show off planet-wise is kind of this rocky, deserted planet. It does have life on it. It looked kind of like a cross, like alien mud crabs. Like kind of like Mirelurks, but kind of mud crabs. So it's kind of like a cross between Skyrim and Fallout, kind of. And people are calling this No Man's Skyrim already. Because they're making some not very nice comparisons to like No Man's Sky and stuff. It's No Man's Sky, but it's ugly and boring and all this other stuff. It's like the back half of the show, the trailer clip business, showed some really pretty planets and some really interesting, kind of almost cyberpunky cities and stuff that you can go. And the whole upshot of, from what we know of what the story is going to be, is that you get asked by the constellations or something. They're like the last bastion of space explorers, and they have found these artifacts, and they want you to go and find them, and they don't know what they're being made into, but they really have to find out, and they think that there's something that's going to change humanity and yada yada yada. So of course we're going to unleash the unknowable evil, which is, you know, kind of something that piques my interest. As you all know, I am an unleasher of evils as a rule. Hey, T. Dunbar.
It's what we do.
I'm feeling good enough to babble on about games. So I must be feeling quite a bit better. So I don't know. I don't know what the story is going to be like. If I really had to be honest, like, I didn't care about the Civil War in Skyrim. It was the least interesting storyline in the whole entire game, and I never finished it because I really didn't want to pick a side because I didn't like either of them.
Right.
Kind of like with Fallout 4. I got to a point where all of the factions liked me, and then I just left it there, and I never really dealt with those factions ever again. I just kept them all liking me and never, like, spurred on to the last conflict, because you have to basically eliminate 2 of them. if you pick a side, and
Right.
I'm like, I don't want to, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go do all the side stuff and all the DLC. Bye.
It didn't get
Like I
super
said-
hot here, but yesterday it was up to 91 degrees, and it does get super humid here. My chat's talking about the heat.
Oh, we're talking about the weather.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just babbling on about games. What do I know?
YouTube censored Black Asp's name.
God.
Come on, YouTube, get with the program.
Get good. Oh yeah, I saw something about like a YouTuber being like struck by YouTube for like inappropriate comments, like sexual innuendo or something. I'm like, oh my god, glad they've never seen our show. They obviously don't watch us.
97. How was the humidity? Humidity makes a world of difference when it comes to heat.
Uh-oh, we've already been clipped. Tiki says, sorry in advance, Meso, but I clipped something and left it in your DM. I'm like, oh no.
Spinge played with MM on one of your Chaos Crew runs. I thought you were with them. Played MM. MM?
Oh, the Mischief Maker, the Twitch integration. No, I think that was Johnny, Laney, Bladed, and possibly Ironwolf.
Yeah, that was not me. Finally, some recognition. Well, I had to allow John's comment just saying, "What's up, Black Asp?" That's all he said. "What's up, Black Asp?" YouTube's like, "Are you sure you want to allow this?"
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that if we really start getting a much larger following and we're still as inappropriate as, you know, we are, that we're just gonna get like banned forever.
I've decided if I get canceled, I'm going back to bed. That's just all it is.
Oh, that sounds good though. Maybe we could get canceled on purpose. Yeah, get gifted bits to kill a player. Oh yeah, they had to turn that off.
Yep.
Because their wellness was, I didn't know that was Mischief Maker. I thought that was just a
Oh, is that Mischief?
a Twitch thing where you could spend your bits.
Oh, yeah, so did I. So that's Mischief Maker? Eh.
You have to come up with a lot of really weird things. I've seen people like spend your bits to tell people to, you know, stand up or take off their glasses or have a drink or something. It's like, oh, have a sip of tea. Like, okay. I'll be totally honest, there's a lot of stuff about Twitch that I don't really understand. Probably because I really don't care to.
Mm.
But I know that Spange had that thing where, like, if you wanted to name a ship, you had to spend like 60 gajillion bits because somebody trolled him once and named it something that then he got like riffed on for a week about.
You riff on him anyways.
Well, that's true. It's valid.
Riffing is a whole part of the Chaos Crew. That and us running around like headless chickens. Oh, that one got censored too, John.
I just stay in the kitchen and keep cooking. That's what I do. That's my part in the Chaos Crew.
Apparently you can't call him black.
We're also looking, the last chapter of Raft is going to be coming out soon.
Yep, Monday apparently.
So we are looking at that. What else was the other thing? Oh, I actually had been watching people play The Quarry, which is, it's like a teen slasher movie, but it's a game, so you get to make decisions for the different characters, and if you make a wrong decision, they'll get killed off. And I've been watching a little bit of it, and the characters are all just awful. They're just, there's like one or two that you're like, okay, I might want to save them. But most of them are like, if they did die, I'm just saying, it's not necessarily the worst thing that could ever happen. But do I cook like a headless chicken? I don't know, sometimes. Not usually.
I always like your food. She'll warn me. She'll be like, I'm experimenting with this food thing I'm cooking. Just be warned. It always turns out great.
That's in real life. That's not in game. In game, do I cook like a headless chicken? I usually have my trusty side hoe, so that keeps me pretty calm.
How does a headless chicken cook?
I would think very chaotically. I think I'm probably the least chaotic member of the Chaos crew.
Oh, wow. This furrow white decided to come join me. Fell on his face.
I'm like the Eeyore of the Chaos crew.
Thanks for cooking for me.
Yeah, Raft is pretty good, and they're adding a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's new biomes and all kinds of things, so I'm kind of excited to see it.
Oh, YouTube. You're such a snowflake.
I watched the video you posted about that game, and the characters are as smart as a box of rocks. Mm-hmm. Ah! Oh my god!
What?
I was running through this intersection, there was nothing there, and then all of a sudden there were these burning skelly people.
Burning skelly people?
Well, they weren't real skeletons, but like, you know, the new model for like the burning zombie is all like shrunken and creepy.
Are we talking about zombies or my...
Zombies? What? Who? Hey, Grey Walker. Well, I'm definitely here.
Black Betty was a good song. I think I slightly favor Spider-Bait's rendition of it, though. Slightly.
Well, it's kind of like swamp metal.
Black Betty?
Yeah, the Spider-Bait's version. It has that like swampy southern business going on.
Swamp rock, maybe. Swamp metal would be more like down.
Oh. Well, I mean, I suppose. I can't say I'm a big fan of them, but... They're kind of depressing and waily.
Yeah, sometimes you need that.
Sometimes you need depressing and waily.
Sometimes I need depressing and waily. Sometimes I want Hatebreed with destroy everything.
It was really weird. I was trying to explain to Venom right before the stream. So I think I got more sleep last night. I did end up feeling more rested than I had in the last 2 days, but it's like my brain knew I was dreaming, but also was aware of me like being in bed and of the covers and Venom and the cat and all of that other stuff at the same time. So my brain was trying to convince me that I wasn't really asleep, but I was also dreaming. But I knew it was a dream. It's just really weird. So I don't know what's going on with me, man.
Yeah, sleep has been elusive lately for us.
Is that what it is?
What?
Meso provides so much joy that Venom needs some depressing just to balance it out.
You do give great snuggles.
Wow. Oh, that's what we did last night. I was like, can we just go watch a movie?
So we watched Spider-Man: No Way Home.
It wasn't too bad.
It's pretty good.
I didn't hate it. I actually liked the multiple Spider-Mans. I didn't think that was dumb. I thought it was dumb when I saw the trailer, but then I watched the movie and I was like, all right, it's not that dumb. Where are the zombies at?
Trying to climb in my hole.
You tell me that I cleaned all the zombies out of the city. Right?
Did you clean all the zombies out of the city? Did you clean your city?
I don't know if I've been told that I bring a lot of joy. I have been told multiple times that I'm pretty scary.
Hey, never down a man for liking to spoon.
Those are the best. If you're not snuggling, then you get good. Unless you don't have anybody to snuggle with, in which case...
Get good?
I'm sorry for you. Maybe the joy and the scary are connected.
Scary joy.
Well, I don't think it's Venom who's told me I'm scary. It's other people that have told me I'm scary.
Yeah, I don't think you're scary.
No, not even a little bit. Like, I try to be like, and you need to go to the doctor. And he's like, that's nice, dear. Like, no, really, I mean it. I'm putting my foot down. And he's like, tee-hee, that's adorable. I'm like, no, I really mean it.
I'll live. It hasn't fallen off yet.
What?
What?
What, hasn't fallen off yet?
Yes.
I can confirm it has not fallen off yet. Unless we're talking about something else, in which case... I don't know.
How do I get past the Z's in the lab? So, sorry, there are some zombies, or demons in that case, that are going to hear you regardless. So you just kind of have to deal with that. So what you're doing when you're stealthing is actually just trying to wake up as few as possible. It's not you're trying to wake up none. It's as few as possible. And you get to that first door on the bottom floor, and typically you'll have a crap ton of demons trying to beat that door down. And so you just almost always have to deal with that. It's actually the exception to the rule if you get down there and they're not beating on that.
Oh, that's a couple of cops. Crap.
Shoot him.
I need to go take care of... Well, I need to take care of whoever's beating over here first, because I don't know who they are. Oh, it's you.
It's not me. I didn't do it. It's not my fault.
He gonna use that one. Tell him no snuggles unless he does what you want him to do. Oh, that would... No, see.
Yeah, we don't...
couldn't do that.
We don't bargain with snuggles or sex. Those are not bargaining chips.
This is also why, like, oh, you're gonna go sleep on the couch. No. The only reason I sleep on the couch is to make sure that he does get rest, like if I'm coughing or something.
Or vice
It's
versa.
not like you did something I didn't like, so you need to go sleep on the couch. That's just not. If I'm mad at him, I'm mad at him, and we should talk it out so that we can, clear the air. But
One thing we've got pretty solidly is we communicate a lot.
was a crucible that I just picked up. It is. Oh, and a tool and die set.
Oh, nice.
The hammer is 2 OP. True. It's facts. Doesn't mean I'm not going to use it, though. Does not mean I'm going to put it away. I mean, it helps that I'm all spec'd into melee weapons. If I wasn't, it wouldn't be that amazing. I mean, it'd still be amazing, but it wouldn't be that amazing.
It's kind of like the sword. I'm fully spec'd into blades and stuff, so when I sword things, they die.
I'm also fully spec'd into lockpicks! Lock.
Yeah, that seems broken in vanilla, too. I found Meso in the Navy. That's where I found her.
Yep. You know, as one does. Another crucible. And another tool and die set. And an advanced bellows.
Oh, nice.
And another tool and die set. And another advanced bellows. I'm at a working stiffs, by the way. And 2 more crucibles.
Where are you looting?
I'm looting at working stiffs.
Oh, that'll explain it.
Oh, and I think I just got another. Yep, I got another tool and die set.
That's right, Justin. We lived in Japan for 3.5 years.
And another crucible.
It was a great time. I miss the food. I really miss the food.
I don't miss that none of the roads had names. Because we lived kind of in rural Japan. It wasn't like in Tokyo or something like that. We lived kind of in rural Japan, and getting directions to different places was really interesting because they'd be like, oh, well, you know, it's 3 roads down that way, but then like the roads looked like alleys and you couldn't tell if, okay, is this really a road or is that not a road? It didn't have a name on it. So I'm already kind of directionally challenged at the best of times. It was hell. Hey, Ada. Are we going to Jafax?
Jafax?
Do we speak Japanese? I used to speak a few words a really long time ago. It's been ages and ages since we were in Japan.
Yep. And I'm terrible at picking up second languages, so no. I grew up on the Mexican border and barely speak Spanish, so.
Get all the loot. Are we going to Jafax?
What's Jafax?
I don't know. I am waiting for Ada to tell me. Since we don't know what it is, I would probably say that's a no.
It's a fair guess.
Usually if... Excuse me. If you don't know what it is... I'm just saying. Does it have to do with outside? Oh, it's a Japanese anime convention in GR. Okay. We watched a fair bit of anime while we were in Japan.
Mm-hmm. And then we kind of stopped.
I loved Bleach. Bleach was a good anime. And we saw the live action movie, and you know what? I was expecting it to be really awful, and it wasn't that bad.
How did you two talk if you didn't speak Japanese? We got by pretty well. There's quite a few people that speak at least a modicum of English, so we could get by. And at the time, I knew of a couple phrases that could get me by, mainly in like restaurants.
A lot of people we lived on a base, so a lot of the people that would come and work on the base spoke English, and any of the towns or nearby areas, they're very used to having American or English-speaking military people come in and use their shops and stuff, and so a lot of them would speak English as well.
Yep. programmer. I speak many second languages. If you want to count programming languages, then yeah, I speak quite a few languages.
If you have a link to that Japanese anime convention, though, drop it to me, Ada, if you could, or at least in the Discord. Put it in like general or something.
Yeah, our daughter would be interested.
Yeah, that's why I want to have the infos. Because once we are germ-free, if it's after that, I know that she would really be interested in going.
We got our COVID test kits. We haven't actually used them yet, though.
Yep. Oh, your son's in charge of security. Sweet. That's awesome. Anyway, about Japan. One thing that I was just thinking about the other day, because somebody was talking about like culture shock and stuff like that, and we were warned about it when we first got to Japan and everything, because everything's going to be different. But I think that's something about my brain, is that I was expecting things to be different. I was expecting things to be vastly different. So when they were different, I wasn't like, I didn't want to be offensive, and I didn't want to like cause a scene. So we tried to be as respectful as we absolutely could, but we weren't like completely like thrown for a loop because things were different. What threw me for a loop was actually coming back to the United States.
Yeah.
And I have one example of what it felt like. So on base, you'd have the base store where they'd have like a couple of brands of toothpaste, and I mean a couple, like maybe 2 or 3 brands of toothpaste, and you'd have to pick one, and it was fine and it was okay. If you went out to like one of the Japanese stores, a lot of them were in Japanese, and they'd have maybe one brand or not, because like again, we were in a more rural area. So you didn't have a whole lot of choice in what you were going to have. And because of the restrictions and flight stuff and everything, we just decided not to take anything like toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, anything back when we were flying back to the States. We just decided, well, we'll just pick it up once we get there, and then we don't have to worry about going through and having them inspect our luggage and dragging stuff out, or asking us about it or whatever, finding out late, oh, you can't bring this or whatever. So we stopped at like a Walgreens or a CVS or something once we had landed, and oh my god, you guys, they had a whole aisle of toothpaste, and I just stood there for like several seconds just like in befuddlement. Like it was too many. It was too effing many. I just didn't know what to do. And I've lived, I grew up here, so I didn't expect to have culture shock when we came home, but it was just like an overwhelming, like it was just too many. After spending years like with, okay, there's only a couple choices, that's fine. But somebody was talking about that also in game design, is that you don't want to give people too many options, because then they will be less likely to act. You just give them a couple of options, and then they're more likely to make an actual choice. I know a family of Americans who lived in Japan with 4 young sons. I wonder how it was for the sons who are growing up there with 2 languages and a different culture. One of my colleagues lived there for 3 years. She speaks Japanese. I also have a few students from Japan. It's interesting to see them learn about U.S. government. Oh, I bet. It's a lot different.
So one of the things I learned.
Thank you, Ada.
One of the things I learned in Japan is basically just kind of have a respectful demeanor, attitude, and you get by just fine. They're the culture is very welcoming, assuming that you're being respectful and stuff. I didn't run into any problems with any people there. One of the times I was in Tokyo, I was trying to take the subways from one place to another, and I was completely lost because the signs and the Tokyo subway station is gargantuan. So I'm sitting there staring at my ticket, and I know I looked kind of lost because, frankly, I was kind of aiming for that look. This little Japanese man grabs my arm, looks at my ticket, and says, "Oh, you come this way." He took me. I was on the wrong side of the station. He guided me all the way to the other side of the station, parked me at the spot I have to stand, and says, "You wait here." Governments in general are dumpster fires.
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, I'm feeling better enough to stream. I'm not feeling 100%. But we're not doing too bad, I guess. Could be worse. Definitely could be worse.
Starting to think this,
There's a supply drop over here.
says here, every minute you have a 15% chance to shrug off an illness. Either RNG has not been favoring me, or this one's busted. Maybe that's not the illness they're talking about, but I can't think of another illness off the top of my head.
Dysentery?
Maybe that's it.
What illness are you talking about?
Being infected. I'm up to 7.4%.
I don't know if it works on that. That would be interesting if it did. And I actually need to eat something. I've not been paying attention. I'm glad that I'm not coughing every 2 seconds. That would make for a really awful stream. I know that the last stream that we did, I ended up having a bit of a coughing fit. I'm like, oh my god, that must have been amazing to listen to. So I'm glad that I'm, for the most part, I don't cough unless I'm laying down. So I was a little worried because sometimes if I talk a lot, that will cause me to cough as well.
Ah, yes, government. Take something simple and complicate it. Or take something that's working and break it. Or take something that's bad and make it worse. Or definitely make something worse that nobody asked for.
Nobody asked us to do anything about this, but we're gonna make it worse. You're welcome.
Did Meso catch the achus? Yes.
Yes, I did. Well, it's more like the coughing, hacking, sneezies, but
Stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
yeah, exactly.
Why did they ruin NyQuil?
Because people were drinking it because it had alcohol in it, and then they had to change it so that you couldn't get drunk on it. It didn't. I don't think it stopped people drinking it though. Try to get high. Because there's still labels. Piper was asking me about that. She's like, why do they have this on here that it's only used for intended stuff and that, you know, you shouldn't use it with alcohol and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, because people will take it trying to get high. She's like, yeah, but you can't get high. I'm like, I don't care. That's why they take it.
Well, if I just drink more of it.
Right. And she goes, that's dumb. I'm like, I know that's dumb, but that's what they do.
I remember
Venom
several
speaks
times.
of snafu. Was that a Navy thing? Yeah, situation, normal, all fouled up. Although F is not always fouled, let's just say.
Snafu and Fubar.
I say if you're still 6 feet above ground, you're doing good. There you go, Aaron. That sounds like a good.
Doing really good, because if you're 6 feet above ground, you're flying.
Well, I mean, that's 6 feet under. You know what they mean. They mean if you're not dead. Dead. Ingredient and meth, yeah, we have to what they can only sell you like so much sinus stuff. Like a lot of, I tried to get some cough medicine delivered when Piper started coughing, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, but this is only available in store. You can't have this delivered. And so there was like a very limited few that you could have, and you could only buy one because God forbid I might be making meth in my car or something. I mean, I know people do, and I had to explain this to Piper too, because I was like, she's like, why couldn't you buy more, or why couldn't you buy this other? I'm like, because they're afraid I'm going to be making meth with it, or I'm going to be selling it to somebody who's going to be making meth, because that's how they get around the limits, is that they have other people buy it and they pay them more for it, so that they'll go and buy them this cold medicine so they can make meth. No, I am not giving you a recipe, and I'm not advocating it because I think it's dumb. It spoils. This is why we can't have nice things. But I mean, to be fair, they could put like anything in meth. It doesn't really matter.
They do. They do.
And I'm not saying that as an endorsement. I'm saying that as you probably really should not take it ever. You probably shouldn't even be in the same area, because even if you're like where they're making it, you can be absorbing the chemicals.
Oh,
It's not good.
meth labs explode pretty big too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
There's that too.
a lot of the chemicals required are volatile.
And that's if, you know, they're not adding other stuff that is just combustible just for, you know. Hello, Cyrus.
Because their pen told them to.
Yeah, really, you know.
How much? I'm making a base out of titanium, so quite a bit.
So the answer would be yes. How much titanium? Yes. That's how much titanium.
Yes.
Oh, good. I found some zombies. Finally. Jeez Louise. And Cyrus reveals he's the DEA and the whole stream is in trouble. What are you two talking about? I just got here. Sure, Cyrus. We know you're the feds. I don't know what you guys were talking about. I just got here. Mm-hmm. Coincidence? I think not.
It's funny. Meso's a total innocent when it comes to drugs.
It's true. I think that's why I didn't like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
You just didn't get it.
I didn't get any of it. I thought it was the dumbest movie I'd ever seen. I'm like, what is even happening right now?
Don't cross the streams.
It has my age on it.
I can't carry too much more, so... Oh, didn't mean to take that one out. Alright, so let's go cause some trouble.
Yay, trouble! Just don't get blowed up.
John is demanding I cause trouble.
Well, yeah. You've been stuck in a hole mining this whole time. They probably are like bored to tears. Does Spangy Boy still have the flu? It's COVID, and yes, as far as I know, he still does have it.
So let's go drop this stuff off and cure this infection, and I suppose I could go do the lab again.
All the laws around what you can buy and in what number is really frustrating. Decongestants aren't over the counter anymore, and you have to show ID for it in my state. Oh my god. See, this is what I'm talking about. I have like a sinus problem, and I'm like, just give me the freaking sinus pills, guys. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Big Pharma, I hate you, but take my money. That's how I feel.
And God forbid you have like more than one person sick in your household, so you need like more than just like the 2 tablets that they're willing to sell you.
That's the other thing. They come in such small quantities. You can only buy 2 of these boxes. Well, okay, how many doses are in a box? 2. Motherfucker.
Or it's the whole hot dog bun situation where like the daytime medicine is the nighttime medicine is disproportionate to the daytime medicine, so it just like doesn't work out properly. It's just like, oh my god. Paraninililifrin. I don't know what the medical name is for like a decongestant. There's a lot of them. And then there's like the trademarked name, and then there's like the other name of the drug. If that's medical name for a decongestant 24-hour pill, then yes. Yeah. I remember when my mom could buy cough syrup with codeine, I think over the counter or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
With codeine, guys. That was a long time ago.
Back in my day. I think we've got some headlamps. I think we've got some
Stop
concrete.
you killing yourself. Look, I just want to unstop my nose, man. I just want to stop coughing. I mean, I know that people want to do mischief. I know people want to take stuff, that they shouldn't recreationally, and it causes problems. And I'm really sorry about that. But, see, this is why we can't have nice things, guys.
Because Florida, man.
All of those warning labels that are like not to be taken rectally and blah, 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 it's because somebody did.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to put a warning label on it now so they can't get sued.
We warned you.
I mean, even like curling irons and stuff have labels on them that are like, do not use internally. Especially after they've been heated or whatever. It's like, didn't plan to, but
That was not on the agenda.
no.
Let's see then.
All they needed was an ID to get that cough syrup with codeine. Yep. Can still get codeine cough medicine in Canada? Really? Over the counter? Wow. US banned codeine cough syrup because there are links to it killing you when you go under for an operation. That's possible, but also people use it to get high.
Then I got high.
And especially like in the 80s and 90s, there was the whole war on drugs business.
Just say
I've
no.
only been here 5 minutes and drag the stream down to misery. No. We were already Eeyore stages. Don't worry about it. Hey, Chaos. Doctor put me on it last year, so it's still available, just harder to get. Yeah, like the codeine stuff you have to have a prescription for, I'm pretty sure. My dad had some of that cough syrup with codeine left over from when you could still get it. It was great. Yeah, they're so worried about, like, acetaminophen and what was it, Sudafed or whatever the sinus medicine was, but, they won't crack down. No, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop before I get myself in trouble. Because I could get myself into a right snit.
Jack Daniels organic honey and lemon juice, huh?
Sounds painful. Hot curling iron in the rear. Look, there's a lot of things that people do that I do not understand. Just take the TikTok trends that I've heard of, for example.
Tide
Just
Pods.
pick one.
Tide Pods.
Just pick one. Did Venom reference song and then I got high? Probably.
Yes. I tend to reference music a lot.
So what did I picked up That's right, I've been looting. I haven't even been paying attention. I've just been like la 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 la, slaughtering all the zombies. Oh crap. I forgot to lock my stuff. I forgot to lock my stuff. And I need some of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Hey, lady.
Let's see.
You can still get it. You can get it here still. I remember going into an all-night chemist, dying of this cough. Drove there in the snow, walked in like an addict, coughing, red eyes, and begging for it. Please, just give me some cough syrup.
Master, we are not alone.
I had to call my mom to phone them up and give it to me. My son isn't a crackhead, I promise. Think of cute bunnies and pretty flowers on a spring day. Some of the best things are not things.
Mother, what?
Yes, I am feeling good enough to stream. We've been having a pretty good time, even if we are talking about all of the things that make us mad.
That demon dropped a shepherd's pie. Hey, power armor gloves.
Gloves. Oh yeah, did we need enriched uranium for something? Why do we have weapons over?
Yes.
Oh, I bet it was full at one point, and I just dumped them in there because it was empty. We never went back and got them out. Oops.
Enriched uranium. Yes, we do need that.
Alright, well, I'll just remind you then. Put a little post-it note. Is everyone dying at the moment then? Well, I mean, technically, yes, we're all dying.
Everybody dies. And I forgot to empty my bike. Actually, I think I want to keep that one.
I've mentioned before that I look like super plain and just like the most ordinary person, but inside beats the heart off. I'm always interested in like morbid,
You did
slightly depressing thing.
did a whole essay on human decomposition.
I did. I legitimately did that. And I had to give a disclaimer because I didn't want anyone whining. I didn't warn them about the graphic images and stuff, so nobody left. And I'm like, all right, I warned you. I think some of them regretted their life decisions. Let's just say. And I didn't even really use the bad stuff. Really. I also listened to a YouTuber. It's like Ask the Mortician, and she would talk about like different death options and all kinds of stuff, and about like really weird cases of death and all kinds of stuff. She's pretty awesome. But I will say that getting embalmed and then having all that stuff like leak into the ground once your coffin rots away is pretty disgusting. I'd rather just be chucked in a hole or cremated. I mean, being cremated's not all that great for the environment either, but
It's not as bad.
it's cheaper for your family, for sure. I don't need a glorified, casket, unless I'm going to sleep in it while I'm alive for some reason.
Mwah.
I always, I wanted a hearse to drive around in. That's the kind of person I am.
Call you Morticia.
I would love to be Morticia. Look, I have a tattoo, and before I got into the military, I did have more piercings with plans for more, but you're only allowed to have, as a female, 2 piercings, one in each lower lobe of your ear.
Yep.
And the one I had in the upper part of my ear closed up while I was in the military. So I cannot wear that anymore.
Miso is not goth in appearance.
No, I'm not. In appearance, I'm not. Although, I'm not against it either. It just takes a really lot of effort.
Yeah, if we're both
Way
too
more
lazy to be
effort.
goth.
Way more effort than I really want to put into it. If it was a lot easier, I would totally do it. That's what we need to do. We need to start an easy goth fashion emporium where you can like...
Just easy goth.
Yep, easy goth. That's what we need. You can be low-key goth. I look more like, you know, a PTA bomb. But like one that's not trying overly hard, to be honest.
I'm not even going to try describing myself.
You look like a Venom. You look like my Venom.
It's an apt description.
And that's good.
So, yeah, Miso is not goth in appearance, just in attitude.
I think the last time we were talking about this, we were talking about how we would always discuss what would become apparent in my brain after we had already started discussing it as sort of inappropriate topics over dinner. Like if we went somewhere for, like, say, an evening out, we'd finally get one, and then we'd be talking about, you know, zombies and how that would work in real life or not work in real life, and human decomposition and all that stuff over dinner while we're like in a restaurant. And I know that some of you were saying, well, we have, you know, we're in the medical field, so we do that stuff all the time. We have conversations that, once you think about it, you're like, maybe we should not make the other patrons uncomfortable.
But then again, maybe we should.
So I look like Barbara Eden? No, I do not look like Barbara Eden. I can safely say I do not. That was Jeannie, and I Dream of Jeannie, for anybody who doesn't get that reference. I definitely do not look like her. She was stunning. I am just me. So there. Whoa.
Whoa.
That cheerleader had issues.
Oh yeah, well I've got drugs.
You didn't know that you could shock bears? Well, part of it is because I have my Thor hammer. But yeah, you can shock
Speaking
bears
of
about
which,
anything, I
I
think.
picked up another Thor hammer.
Oh, good.
It's a level 53. Ow. Right in the butt.
You said PTA, Mom. Yeah, but I don't mean like a movie PTA, Mom. I mean like a real world legitimate PTA, Mom. Oh, stop it, Dinky. What was that song? The Harper Valley PTA? They were all up in arms because her mom wore like a mini skirt and stuff, but then she's called out everybody else for all of their sinful behaviors, and then they all kind of shut up. I just kind of like that song. Zombies make no sense. Where does the energy come from? Power, the muscles, etc. Once mitosis has done its thing, the only energy left is how well the body burns. Well, it depends on if it is some kind of like fungus. Like I was just thinking about this the other day. There's that fungus that takes over ants, and the ants, I don't know if they're actually dead. I would assume at some point they are, but like the fungus makes them want to get to higher ground, and then once they get up there, eventually the fungus can spread its spores from a higher altitude, and so they'll spread wider.
Yep.
You've never seen a real PTA mom? You must not have children. Or you've been really lucky. Because PTA moms come in a couple different flavors. They come in the like
Spicy and extra
plain-
crispy.
I was gonna say they come in like the Karen variety, like the highly strung, probably gonna make your life hell variety, or they come as like the plain, compliant, kind of meek kind of variety, or they come as, you know, what was Vernon Dursley's sister's name?
Now that you asked, I can't think of it.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue. But like in the third movie, if anybody have seen the third Harry Potter movie where he blew up his aunt because she was being a right nasty piece of work, they also come in that variety too. Yeah, so it depends on what kind of zombies we're talking about. Because back in the day, they were like supernatural, right? It was all about evil and spirits and, you know, dark magic and stuff like that. But now that we're in the more modern science-based era, it's some kind of mad scientist virus that escapes, or it's a fungus or something else that, you know, we have no defense or medication for. Same thing goes for vampires, really. I actually did, I was doing an, I worked like zombies, aliens, and like death of some kind into pretty much every topic that I did in school when I was in college. And we had an art class where we were supposed to do a triptych, which is a 3 paintings that are kind of in a set. They kind of tell a single story, or they paint a single picture when you put them together. And my triptych was a zombie, a vampire, and a Medusa. And the reason that I did that was talking about how a lot of the things that we were scared about, we always like talking about things that we were scared about in stories and myths and legends and all this kind of stuff. But it used to be more supernatural based, where now we're trying to bring it into a more scientific light where people are doing experiments and it's a virus or something that we can't see. I think they're trying to get more back into
sensors have picked
sort
up
of like a
something.
quasi, you know, supernatural, spiritual, but also scientific realm in some of the movies now. Parasite is the general rule for zombies now, exactly. But like vampires were evil beings. They weren't like sexy. You didn't want like them to come romance you
Oh God, no.
in the old
Hey,
stories.
Lainey. What skills are helping to keep your sneak so low when you wrench the lights? Well, let's see. So
Have I
I've
got everything away?
got full from the shadows, and then stealth assassin, and then got advanced muffled connector mods in each piece of my level 80 power armor. So yeah, there's that.
Aaron says Call of Duty has always had my favorite version of zombies. A new element comes from space and the element causes zombies. See, this is like the Blob, okay?
Poke it with a stick for science.
Poke it with a stick for science. Some knob, or like, what was it, Prometheus, where they see like that weird snake dick monster thing that's in the cave, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna take my helmet off and I'm gonna poke this. Oh, look how cute it is. And then it like takes their face off. It's like, well, you should have known better. You're supposed to be a scientist. What kind of scientist are you?
A dead one.
A bad one. That's what kind of scientist you are. You're a movie scientist. Just slap some glasses on them, and if they're a lady, put them in a lab coat and put their hair up in a bun, and instantly they're a scientist. Why does it behave this way? Because Science Lady said so. Are you on a private server? Yes, we are.
Yes. So I actually have a physical machine in the room with us, and so it's a LAN server that I built just for hosting games for us. Currently, it's also running a Project Zomboid server.
Okay, so that's another thing that we could talk about. I've actually been playing Project Zomboid, which I had incredible hate and disgust for. I really super hated it a lot because it was awful and terrible. And when we first played it, I was like, how can anybody even play this game? I bought it because everybody was like, if you want a zombie survival game, this is the only one you'll ever need. I'm like, oh, really? Do tell me more. And then I played it and I was like, this is garbage. Primarily because I was really bad at it. And then we changed some of the settings. We found out that a lot of it is because you don't play on the default settings, especially when you're first starting out and trying to figure out how to play the game. So we tried some different settings, and it's actually not too bad, but I still super suck at the combat. So like, you guys, okay, are aware that I am not afraid of the zombies in 7 Days to Die. I like combat. I'll go running in with a hammer or whatever weapon I happen to have and shoot or punch them in the face with abandon, and it's fine. And I am definitely don't shrink away from combat. But in Project Zomboid, I am a total damsel because I am just that bad at combat. It is awful. And I hate it. I've been getting better at it. But it is just not pretty.
So yeah, it was interesting playing in that fashion where she's the damsel and I come rescue her.
Save me, men! I did shoot some zombies with a shotgun though. That was super fun.
Yeah, I set up a safety barricade so they couldn't get to her.
This is how it went. Okay, so the last character that I played, I went out foraging because foraging is one of my favorite things to do, but it also makes your line of sight very small in the game. So you basically can't really see anything coming. And so I'm always crouching and sneaking around and trying to be as quiet as possible. And for the most part, that works out okay, as long as I don't get greedy, because I'm looking for herbs and things like that that I can cook, because cooking is really something you need to do in the game.
Herbs.
Master, we are not alone.
So Venom was gonna go out on a mission. He was out looking for some stuff, and I'm like, oh, well, let me come with you. And he's like, okay. And I think he'd already kind of left, so he had to like come back. He takes Sunday Driver, which makes you drive really, really, really slow in vehicles. And he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm just down at the end of the street. There's a little curve there. I'm right there waiting for you. And by the time he got from our house down the block to the curve, I had already been bitten on the neck by a zombie and was bleeding to death. And I mean to death. And he just barely was able to bandage me quick enough to save me. And then he nursed me back to health, because every time I take the bandage off, your bandages get dirty and you have to change them and stuff. And every time I took my bandage off, I'd be bleeding to get death again. So he nursed me back to health. He got me back all up to full health. And I was out digging graves because if you don't get rid of the zombie bodies, they will cause disease and stuff like that. And it's bad. So I was digging graves and filling them up with zombies. And I had to ask our daughter, Piper, if she was okay and if she had eaten her dinner and stuff because she's been ill. And so I was checking up on her. She's in her room. So I was asking her on Discord. So my keyboard and everything was all focused on Discord. And then like 6 zombies race out of nowhere and kill me instantly. That's how my Project Zomboid characters go. I think the Yodcast enlightened me to it, and I sucked because I was Guns A-Blazing. Yeah, Guns A-Blazing is not necessarily the way you want to be in any zombie game, unless it's like Back 4 Blood, and then you still, you know, try not to shoot your teammates.
Well,
I said try. They introduced you to being a little more stealthy, and you found us. I got Empyrean free on a Jingle Jam. Never used it until Spanch played it. Huh. I've never played Empyrean either. Project Zomboid, it's tough. It is tough. Even with some of the reduced settings, like one of the settings that he does have on is that we're zombified immediately. If we get bit and it's got saliva in it, there's so much to the game, you guys. It is pretty deep. There's a lot of mechanics and stuff. You can set it up where, like, you get zombie juice from being scratched. You can get infected from that. You can make it so that it's not immediate, and then you have to, you know,
suffer.
Basically.
Yeah, I turned it so that if you get zombie infection, it's pretty much just you're instantly turned into a zombie.
But that's the thing about Project Zomboid for anybody who doesn't know. When you die, you turn into a zombie.
Well, if you die from an infectious bite or from being infected, like if they just beat you to death, no, you'll just be dead.
Oh, cool. Well, anyway, I always turn into a zombie. Anyway. So he had to go and kill me to get my stuff back. Can you imagine if that happened in 7 days?
That'd be awesome.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, in 7 days, I'm like, bring it. There was a whole bunch of really tough zombies there, and I'm just like, whatever. But in Project Zomboid, no. I'm like, oh my god, there's a zombie across the street!
Zombie juice.
Go take care of it. Oh my god. It's coming to get me, I know it.
It's coming to take me away, haha.
Oh my god, am I in another... This is another working stiffs. Why do I keep coming into these places? Honestly. Well, we're gonna have so many crucibles and tool and die kits that you're not even gonna know what to do with them. You gotta lock yourself in a cupboard. That's when the helicopter comes, because oh my god, we had a helicopter come through. And for, again, if you've never played Project Zomboid, you'd think, oh, helicopter, that means somebody's looking for you. That could mean safety. No, that's not what it means.
Wow.
It means the exact opposite. It means that it's calling all of the zombies everywhere to come and be around your location. And they will hover around you if you're making any noise or if, like, you're out in the open and stuff like that.
Well, out in the open, they don't know about noise.
No, I am in a cupboard, being silent. I am not here. You don't see me. I am a cardboard box. It's a silly bits. I suppose it's part of the game when the forced emotions get on my get on your nipples. Are you part of the cult of the booba?
Who isn't?
Walk around a corner, see a Z, and you're in shock. I'll tell you what. That's one thing I think that Project Zomboid. Maybe it's just because it's so tough, and you know that you could just get, you know, eliminated so easily in Project Zomboid. But like, they do this little stinger noise whenever there's a zombie that is supposed to like kind of be there all of a sudden, and oh my gosh, it's
Gets your heart
pretty
pounding.
scary. It does. It's a decent jump scare. How does the thunder affect 7 days to die? You would think you're immune with noise you make. You would think so, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. Like if like there's a storm, the zombies wouldn't be able to hear you because the storm is so loud. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works.
My senses have picked up something.
It'd be nice if it did. Ooh, toilet pistol. I mean, we don't need it, but still, toilet pistol. Props to Venom for the Napoleon the 14th song lyric. That Scooby-Doo yoit noise. There was a mod background in A17 that was like The Walking Dead where infection wasn't curable. Oh, that's another thing. I don't think... Now, I've heard something, and I don't know if it was a mod for Project Zomboid or not, but there was like a way to get the cure. Hold on just a second. Oh, pardon me. But I'm pretty sure that was a mod. But I don't know enough about Project Zomboid to be able to speak very clearly on it. There's so much stuff in that game, and there's a lot that I don't know.
So there's 2 demonic behemoths in this room this time.
Oh. I mean... Yay? Oh, it's fine. We took out the one last time.
But I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
You'll be fine.
Beating on his undercarriage.
Well, that's what you gotta do. You just like... He sticks his bees right through the doorway. There's nothing else you can really hit.
I'm doing 300 damage a shot.
Can you imagine if you're playing 7 Days to Die and then you couldn't cure the infection? Now, there have been some times when I was more of a noob where it, like, you couldn't get honey or you couldn't get any kind of cure in the early days, and then, you know, you might as well just die.
Thankfully, he hasn't learned how to punch down.
Well, that's nice of him. I'm glad he hasn't learned that yet. He missed that day in demon school.
Yep.
And today, little demons, we're going to learn how to punch down. And he's like, I'm playing hooky. Ha! RimWorld. I have played a very small amount of RimWorld, and let's just say my colonists did not fare very well.
Talking RimWorld or Rim Job?
RimWorld. It's kind of a survival game, but Depending on what difficulty you set it on, it can be really hard, and especially there's a lot to it. So figuring out what you're supposed to do can be very challenging. Hold on.
And he didn't drop loot. What a butt nugget.
Oh, pardon me. I think I'm coming to my I'm concluding the cough-free portion of this stream. Luckily, they didn't start at the full 90k hit points.
Yeah. That's something interesting with the special demons is they start with this lower health, but once they start regenerating, their max health goes to this insane amount. If you have colonists on your rim job there, you need some antibiotics. I'm not going to argue that.
It's a massive game. It don't look like much, but geez, yeah, there's a lot to RimWorld, which is one of the reasons why I got it, because I heard that it was actually like super crazy. Like so many things can happen, like weird, wonderful, amazing, creepy. Like we played, what was the one that we played that didn't even get finished, but it had like Cthulhu overtones. It was
The portal was broken.
portal was broken.
Master, we are not
Hold on
alone.
a second. It was Clockwork Empires. That's what it was.
Oh, I missed that one. They stopped development on it.
Yeah, they stopped development on it. It was really sad too because it kind of reminded me of that same RimWorld vibe where it's just kind of strange and crazy and weird and like anything can happen.
Your little people form a cult.
Yeah, your little people can form a cult. They can go crazy. All kinds of stuff can happen. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. Ugh. Pay attention, Meso. Goodness. My brain's starting to fog over again.
Well, it's becoming nighttime, so we don't have too much longer.
It's got an AI game master, yeah, and then you can set it to what you want. Got banned in Australia because of cannibalism. What?
What?
Oh. I mean, we're always talking about hashtag we totally don't eat people, but then we also hashtag do what we must. So we'd probably get banned in Australia too. Lainey was so proud of herself because she played the forest and didn't touch a morsel of human meat. She's like, I didn't go cannibal, guys, I swear. Mm-hmm. We believe you.
She did what she
For
must.
sure.
Yeah, her forest gameplay was interesting.
But then in Conan Exiles, I always worship Yogg, so there you go.
I'm trying to catch slaves and she's trying to eat them.
Yep, you get the bestest meats. And they never go
Great
bad.
to see you, Master.
Why wouldn't you? You can harvest organs and put them in a fridge. That's your golf bag. I'm just saying, I wouldn't do it in real life. But playing a game about it is completely different.
That's John. That's why I get rid of the lights. In darkness, the zombies and demons have trouble seeing.
You can also eat insect paste. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, to a lot of westernized people, that sounds pretty gross, but I'm assuming it could probably be pretty good.
It's all in how you spice it.
I mean, there's the whole there is that company called, are they called Soylent? That
Mhm.
makes like the food alternative?
Yep.
I've heard it's revolting.
One of my coworkers was on a Soylent diet for a while. Yeah, he said it was completely disgusting.
Just revolting. I would refuse to eat something called Soylent just on general principles. I don't know why they would name their company that.
So one of the tricks with stealth in the dark, like if I'd been in this room, he would have seen me and start beating on me. But as you're moving, you leave what they call breadcrumbs. So basically, there's some sort of trace that you were there, and zombies will come investigate. As long as you stay quiet and keep backing up, they don't actually find you. They're just following a curiosity. So you can have times where they're like right up in your face, but they don't actually attack. As long as you just keep backing up.
You like prawns? I'm not a fan of
Anything out of the water. Me, on the other hand, I like seafood.
Or Piper.
Piper likes
likes
seafood.
fish and seafood as well. And I'm totally okay with that. I try to make sure that they get seafood fairly often. I don't want to eat it, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to eat it.
Yes, she finds it completely disgusting, but she's still willing to cook it up for us, and she still cooks it well.
Get lost bum. Oh man, a tier 4 buried supplies. That sounds like doom.
Ready for duty.
You should see the tier 5.
Tonight, I'm doing Chinese chicken and mushroom soup and chicken and mushroom curry because I have chicken and mushrooms. We've been eating kind of light and also kind of lazy because nobody's felt very good. We had pasta last night and we had just chicken sandwiches tonight. Spicy chicken sandwich.
I've been eating chicken noodle soup a lot.
Yeah. Love me some sea bugs.
How can you live in Japan and not love seafood? Misa's never liked seafood, so moving to Japan was kind of like food-wise. But they have non-seafood
a lot
stuff.
of other stuff that's not seafood.
A lot of really good stuff, too. We all got completely addicted to yakisoba. The street yakisoba.
And gyoza, and there's a little convenience place called Lawson's, and it is the best thing ever. There were, you'd buy like this stuff, and then they would heat it up for you in like little microwaves behind the counter. They'd be like, "Would you like that heated up?" And I'd be like, "Well, okay, if you say so." So that it'd be nice and hot to take with you. It was really amazing. But then I've had like McDonald's in Germany and in Japan, and it doesn't taste anything like American McDonald's. I mean, it does taste like McDonald's food, quote unquote. Like there's a certain taste to McDonald's. If you've ever had McDonald's, you'll know that. Okay, this is McDonald's food. It has a certain taste. But
but they also have different items on their menu as well.
They have different items on their menu, and like a lot of the like McDonald's in different countries, they actually have to like learn how to cook.
But yeah, McDonald's experience in Japan completely different than it is in the States.
Yes. Asian food isn't based on seafood. It does have a lot of seafood in it because they're usually surrounded by the ocean.
Yeah, it's a very common ingredient in their foods. But yeah, not exclusive.
Oh, you live in the Philippines. I see. I bet you have a lot of yummy food.
Oh yeah, there's also some strange food over in the Philippines, if I've heard correctly.
Well, I know that there's that one. It's an Asian fruit. the durian or something like that that smells like garbage on the outside, but then it's supposed to be amazing on the inside. There's a lot of things that Westerners think are weird.
The egg one, that's the one that gets me.
Oh yeah, the fermented like 1,000-year egg or whatever, century egg.
Whatever it was, yeah. That one is like, yeah, I'm gonna have to give that one a miss.
Well, there's the one that has like the embryo in it.
Yes.
And then there's the one that's just been like fermented. I don't know if there's like another one that has an embryo and it's been fermented, but
yeah, still just gonna give it a pass. The one, there was a couple foods I did not like over in Japan. The main one being natto. Definitely natto, my thing.
You want to come all this way and eat McDonald's? Yeah, of course. You got to check out the fast food at the different places and see, is it like it is back where you come from? You got to see.
But when you go to the McDonald's there, you order something that
is the embryo.
That's the one, yeah.
I probably pronounced it incorrectly, but that's that's the one.
I think I remember how I pronounced blue. Yeah, that's the, I'm going to give that a pass. So natto, I gave it several tries because one of the Japanese contractors that worked in my lab, yes, I worked in a military lab. He was determined to get to try to find a way that it could be prepared or served that I would like it. It failed every time.
I know rice is the base food, Howard is saying. We eat it more chicken than fish because of the price. And in Japan specifically, there was a lot of seafood.
Yes.
And
it's an island nation. I mean, what do you expect?
There was a lot less beef than, like, say, the Western countries, like United States. We have a lot of beef and pork and stuff like that. There was actually a fair bit of pork.
John, you make a very fair point with that. For all the weird ethnic foods that we look sideways at, remember that we eat hot dogs.
I don't.
Okay. Americans in general.
Okay, so this is something that I think I've talked about before. I'm actually quite a picky eater, but I
Holy shit, did I just one-shot a succubus?
I really hate it how people talk about picky eaters because it's like they treat picky eaters like, oh, it's not your preferred food, so you're not going to eat it. And I'm sure that there are some picky people like that who are like, oh, well, I don't mind it, but that's not my preferred, so I'm not eating it. That's not what I mean when I say that I don't like a thing or I don't enjoy eating it.
No.
I mean, it is revolting to me.
Like literal nausea.
Like, it's going to make me throw up kind of stuff. So, like, I don't like to eat hot dogs. I don't like bologna. I don't like eggs. I don't like fish. I don't like seafood. There's a lot of things that I don't like to eat, and it's not just simply, I'd really rather not. And there's always people who are like, oh, well, you don't like fish. Well, you just wait. I have this recipe, or I have this friend who makes it. And there are people who don't like fish that called it absolutely amazing. There was a place in California. We lived in California after we came back from Japan, and their whole shtick was
fish
that
tacos.
They made fish tacos, but even people who didn't like fish liked their fish tacos.
Primarily because you can't taste the fish.
And I was like, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. And Venom was like, oh, come on, just try it. We'll just try it once, and then, we never have to go again if it's terrible.
I've got a bad feeling
And
about
it still tasted like fish, but it only tasted like fish, like the immediate bite into it, and then it was pretty much gone, and then I didn't taste it anymore. So if I had to, I could eat them.
Yeah, it's a place in San Diego called Rubio's, and their fish tacos are delish. Delish.
Filipinos don't have much beef, chicken, pork, and seafood. Depends on your country on the basic staples. The Mediterranean has amazing seafood. Crap you get in the UK is crap. My daughter's allergic, which doesn't help.
Americans prefer our weird food to be processed, so we can't identify the parts and pieces.
I was at a party in Germany, and they had like these trays of hors d'oeuvres that people were like carrying around, and I had one. I had specifically asked one for that didn't have fish, and they like pointed out one. They're like, "Here, try this," and it was really, really good. I was like, "Oh yeah, all right." So I saw another tray coming by, and I saw another one that looked like the one that I had had previously. And so I took it and I bit into it, and it was salmon. And I almost had to leave the party. It was bad. I mean, I'm sure it was good, but it was bad for me.
Master, we are not alone.
It would have been very rude to throw up in the middle of the party.
Yeah. Let's see, the other thing I tasted in Japan that I really did not like was umai, or sea urchin. And that's mainly because it had a weak flavor, but the consistency and the way it was prepared felt like snot.
I've tried many fish things and types of fish and fish dishes because I keep hoping that there will be like the magical one that I'll be like, hey, this isn't so bad. I could actually eat this.
Spam? Yes, I've tried spam. I don't like it.
I'm sure it could probably be prepared in a way that wasn't bad.
Yeah, just drown out the taste with something else.
I also am a spice, well, I would say addict, but I have to be very careful when I go down the spice aisle because I can come home with like a whole bunch of spices.
I kept telling you to do it. Treat it like one of those shopping spree TV show things. Just extend your arm and scoop.
Swipe.
I am someone who loves spiced food. Be it just, flavorful spice and or hot spice.
So we've talked obviously about what would you do if you were in a zombie apocalypse, and we've decided that the first two things that we would do, besides making sure that we were relatively safe, obviously safety first, but once you were trying to get established, the first two things that you'd have to do is you'd have to go and start picking up and hoarding spices, and also hitting up the library for like do-it-yourself information.
Yep.
So in that respect, I guess Project Zomboid is kind of how we would think we would do it, because what you do if once you get the settings to a reasonable amount is that you start reading skill books.
Yep.
And they give you like an XP bonus when you're actually doing the skill. Swordfish and shark fills you up faster than a nice chunk of beef. If you have spices and herbs, any rotten meat can be good. That's how many Jamaican food became. I don't... I would love to believe you on that, because I am a serious believer in spices and herbs and stuff like that. Like, okay, for example, let's say that I don't know if everybody knows what Hamburger Helper is, but it's like a little box that has pasta in it, and it has like this dry packet of seasoning, and then you cook up ground beef or minced beef, depending on where you're from, and you put in like milk and water and the seasoning packet, and then you put in the pasta and you cook it all up for just like 10-12 minutes, and then you have a meal that you can feed your family. It's very inexpensive, and people who don't have a lot of money will buy it a lot of times. And if I were going to make that, I would season and spice the ground or minced beef before I put the seasoning packet in it. because I don't particularly like unseasoned meat flavor either, unless it's grilled. Like grilled meat, I could probably handle, but like if it's unseasoned, I'm not particularly wild on it either. It tastes dead to me, kind of like fish tastes like dead, rotten fish, like the ones that you'd find like on the beach.
While on the flip side, I will actually eat raw meat. So that's a thing.
I've heard that like goat is very gamey. And there are some other meats that are highly gamey, and then there's other ones that are quite mild. Fish tacos are amazing if you're near the coast.
Yeah.
Like I said, we went to that one taco place, and I could eat it. It didn't make me vomit.
They used a very mild whitefish. That's what they use.
I could still taste the fish initially, but I could get past it. The best place to set up a base in the zombie world would be food distribution center. It depends how many other people had that idea and how well armed they are.
That's the important part. How well armed are they versus how well armed are you?
And are they cooperative or are they antagonistic?
That's where the arming comes in.
Because if we're talking about morality during a zombie apocalypse, I think it kind of depends on.
Do what we must.
Kind of does. If I did read you wrong, Cyrus, I'm very sorry. I do that sometimes.
Flat text doesn't come across too well.
And I'm also highly opinionated and not afraid of sharing my opinion. Most of the time. Although there are subjects that I try to steer clear of in a public forum. There's like not a whole lot of zombies around here. I'm kind of disappointed. Maybe I should head out to the wasteland.
Sometimes by themselves and sometimes in brownies.
Did I just say I should head out to the wasteland? Who am I?
Go for it. What mods do I have on my sniper rifle, you ask?
We're gonna have to check me for
I've got
brainworms.
I've got my coil sniper.
Definitely not a me thing to say.
And then I've got my laser rifle. So on here, I've got the Blessed Metal mod, 8x scope, the rechargeable battery mod, which that is essential, especially once you get into energy weapons. Let's see, silencer, Toby's balancing act, which you don't get too many of those, a magazine extender mod, and a bipod mod. For the laser rifle, pretty much the same. Rechargeable battery, which returns the energy cells, 8x scope, Blessed Metal mod, silencer, magazine extender mod, rad remover, and a bipod.
I think it's just about...
It is 0:30.
Won't be too long for end of stream.
Trying to make room in our tools box.
Yay! Zombies.
Zabombies. Well, next time I do the lab, you can join me. Okay, so that should be...
Probably get their attention if I were to shoot, but one, I'm pretty much trained not to shoot unless it's like Horde Night, and the other thing is I don't want to waste my ammo for actual Horde Night if we're going to be doing that soon in the Wasteland.
Right.
So.
It's funny, we got all these crowbar crowbars, but now that we have titanium picks, it's like, yeah, whatever. Or titanium tools in general. Almost.
Have y'all learned archery yet in real life? No, I have not. See, this is what I also tried to discuss in one of my college classes. People were talking. I did bring up, of course I did. I brought up zombie apocalypse, and somebody was talking about shooting, and I'm like, no, you wouldn't want to shoot guns. It draws too much attention. Plus, bullets are not infinite like in a video game.
Right.
When everything, if the world were to shut down, you could probably, if you knew how, maybe manufacture a few more bullets, but eventually you wouldn't have the materials to do so. And they're, I think, much more difficult to make than it would be to get like arrows that you could reuse, or even to learn how to make arrows that, you know, you'd be able to make out of natural found materials. I'm not saying that it would be super easy. I'm saying it would be a lot easier to learn how to make arrows than to try and manufacture bullets after everything shut down. Hence, do-it-yourself books. And you wouldn't have like the internet to distract you, so you'd have plenty of time to practice.
I still wonder how long it would take the internet to go down.
Well, it depends on electricity, and that's...
And servers.
finite.
Depends on servers staying up. Any number of things can go wrong with a server and make it unresponsive.
True.
Not just power loss.
Well, it depends on how does the zombie apocalypse happen? Is it human created, or is it like some kind of accidental virus, alien, whatever? Because I'm assuming if it was an accident, then it'd probably get way out of control way quick, depending on how it spread. But if it was some kind of like attack, like biological attack, like in a war or something, then some would probably be protected, theoretically. Unless whoever launched the attack were complete and total idiots.
Well, you know how people are.
Hand loading isn't too bad, and if you were really into the hobby, you'd have enough of a stockpile already at home that you wouldn't need to make more. Well, then again, how long are we talking?
Right.
And how much are you going to have to use on a regular basis?
So, yeah, I've done archery, and really, I don't know, I'm not terrible at it. I hit my target. I'm not going to be an Olympic archer, but...
I did not. I tried it once. I don't think I hit anything. Except the ground, maybe. Sports and I don't really get along.
I used to be so fast.
Are we prep talking now? It's just thoughts that go around in my head is all I'm saying. Am I actually prepared for like a disaster? No. Is it a thought experiment that my brain goes to on occasion? Yes, of course.
Oh, yes, definitely. Okay, so that's more room in the weapons thing.
Ugh. I'm ready to have a lie down. Have you got cats? Yes, we have one cat.
One cat. It's a snuggly kitty. And there I went scrapping the tips.
Ooh. nails are in there? Yes, the nails are in there. And I think, yes, treasure maps go in there.
Oh, that tells me I need more.
The thing with prepping is that you're delaying the inevitable. Well, okay. I think that most humans, not all humans, but most humans have this very intense survival instinct. They want to survive.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's how the species got as far as it did.
That's just part of being human. So, I mean, we're all going to die. We already talked about that too. Everyone will die eventually.
Your purpose in life is to breed offspring before you die.
We are all delaying the inevitable.
Let's see. Oh, all that, and there's only, what, 2,000 more coming out of here? 2,000 more coming out of there, so 4,000, 4 stacks. All that mining, that's what I got back. Ooh. However, I did queue up 500 titanium shapes, but that's going to take a month.
And also, you have to be very careful because if you misplace those.
Oh, yeah. But that's going to skip a whole bunch. Here's something wobbling around.
So for those that weren't at the very beginning, we're winding up the series. So our plan is to build a base in the wasteland and have our last hurrah horde night in the wasteland. Now, will the base hold? Probably not. So we'll probably end up in a street horde situation. Will we die? Most assuredly.
Nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. But if it's a good way to send off the series. And then we're talking about perhaps playing a little raft, perhaps, and seeing what some of the content for that is. And then also doing sorcery. We need to finish up Divinity on Wednesday. I don't know how close we are to the end of it.
We still have a whole nother
idea.
map to get through.
Yeah, we haven't made it to Arcs yet. Plus, we still have to go to Blood Moon Island, and there's several things in Cloisterwood and stuff that we haven't done yet. So we still have ways to go. But once we finish that, we'll have to figure out a new series for Wednesdays. I don't know how long the Chaos Crew is going to be playing Darkness Falls. I know that Spange is kind of eager to move on from it.
Yeah, he's getting tired of it.
So, watch that space, because I don't know what we're going to do next. That's why you live in the South, where you're given a gun before you get a car. The titanium is only in the wasteland.
Yes. Titanium, uranium, and plutonium are only in the wasteland.
There is the military tablet that I think you can use to locate, like, excuse me, hold on.
Buried supplies. Have I ever played Ark? Yes.
I think you can locate titanium and plutonium and stuff with a military tablet, right?
No.
I heard somebody talking about that. That you can, it might be only the high-end ores, but that's what it's for.
I thought it was,
just a second.
well, let me try it. Before I wind up talking too far out of my ass. Master Scientist. Did you make any? I thought you made some. Or am I thinking of something else?
No.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and whip one out then? Just whip it out.
Okay. What do I need for it?
You need 25 electrical parts.
What workbench does activated?
It will be made in the metal workbench.
Okay.
But you need
So I need what?
25 electrical parts.
Oh. Electrical.
Then you'll need scrap polymers.
Hold on. 25, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Just grab a stack.
Alright, fine.
And then scrap polymers. And then you're going to need forged iron. Because then you
Do we
make
have any forged iron?
upper left.
Okay.
I just make 2 of them. Military tablets.
Excuse me. Military tablet. I know you can like see through walls and stuff with it.
Uh-huh.
But I heard somebody talking about possibly seeing ores with it, maybe just the high level ores. I think it might have been Liz who was talking about it. From More to Me for Life. She does a lot of 70s content. She's pretty awesome. If you haven't checked her out, you should.
Yep.
Doesn't it have to be spawned by Bladed?
Bungee cord on her panties.
Hey Mog, I'm starting to wind down. I need to go have a cuddle and a movie, but I am feeling a little bit better. Thank you. The Couch 22 with the laser table. You have to go to the laser table that is
In the lab.
in the lab, and you have to make the laser table there. But once you have one, you can make as many as you want.
Alternatively, I've heard it rarely, on rare occasion, it'll show up on Caitlin.
As for the titanium, does it show up on the map? There are supposed to be little colored squares, and if you look at the FAQ in the Darkness Falls Discord, there is a picture of what it's supposed to look like, the different colors of the different squares for the different biomes.
As I'm showing on mine right now, there's a light blue dot right here, and that's titanium. I think that's titanium. That's titanium, right?
I think so.
Damn it. I'm going to have to go look.
I can never remember. That's why I just say it's in the FAQ of the Darkness Falls. And then you'll be able to use that, and it should show you. Kind of like if you're looking in some of the other biomes, like this white square.
Oh, nope, that's plutonium.
This white square would be nitrate, and this black square is probably coal, possibly.
And then,
and then there's
these long black things are demon portals.
And these like browner ones, I think, are the iron.
Wait, didn't we need plutonium? Which is the element we needed?
Yeah, you needed plutonium, you said.
Wow, okay.
Okay, the military tablets are done.
Okay, I'm going to go grab one. And give it a shot. So we've got a little bit of time left.
I left my motorcycle way over here.
What'd you do that
You
for?
can tell that my brain is tired and sick.
So we managed to eat sandwiches right before the stream. And God, food coma was coming on strong with that one. Let's see. Oh, well, maybe. That's interesting. I've never actually used these before, so...
My
Yeah.
sensors have picked up something.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can see through walls with it. So if you go up to a structure and you kind of press your face up against it, you can see what's inside.
Interesting.
And then that's if you right click it. So if you right click it, that's where you can see through walls. Oh, if you left click it, you can zoom in. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if you right click it, that's where you have the see through walls ability. Anyway. I think it's just about time for Belle. Did you try the CCTV? It's pretty cool. Not sure of the range. We usually just play by ourselves, so we don't really have a need for it. We don't have like any turrets or anything, except we do have some over on our what do you call it, horde base. to take care of birds, and they kind of use cameras. You have to aim them and stuff to make sure that they are going to hit things at a certain range. But other than that, we don't really deal with that kind of stuff. I would assume CCTVs are more like for PvP. It's good to see where the walking hordes are.
What's
We usually
this?
have windows, so... What?
Seeing something underground. Can't make out what it is. It's weird.
Well, we'll have to do some science and see if that's actually ore or what.
I think that's where a demon portal used to be. That was good.
Underground?
Might be a seed.
Be careful, don't get demoned. Oh, demons. Sorry, guys. I was looking over at his screen.
That's
I have
weird.
a massive wide base and they don't pass to my fighting point. I need a smaller base. That's probably true.
Yeah, you can only get so much pathing length before they just kind of like give up and go straight at you.
Unless you're going to be really trap or
Incoming enemy.
turret
Prepare
heavy,
for conflict.
you probably need a smaller base with a singular entry point.
Oh,
I always need a back door though.
I mean, there's always the feel you want to go big or go home. You know, get that massive horde base going on, and it is tempting to do that. But yeah, it can actually backfire on you. Trying to read chat and dodge in the wasteland. It's not going well for my motorcycle.
No, see, chat already knows that if I'm in the wasteland, chat's gonna have to wait. I hate the wasteland.
I saw something about steak, bacon, and cheese.
Ooh, what? That sounds good. Steak, bacon, and cheese. Now you're talking my language.
But it is 3:57, which means I got to race back into the house.
Oh man, that is huge. It doesn't show one end to the other in the render distance. I think maybe you need a smaller base.
Yeah, you might want to pull that back a bit.
Okay, guys. Well, I survived the entire 2 hours.
Woohoo!
And I didn't die or, have too bad of a coughing fit. Just tiny one, but not too bad. You have to try and get the song stuck in Meso's head. Good luck, Mog. Good luck.
I was hopping on today. I thought I was just going to be mining the whole time. And looking at how much I generated, maybe I should have.
So anyway, tomorrow is Friday, so barring I get worse, or Venom comes down with the hacking, whooping cough of doom or whatever, we should be here tomorrow. And then, I don't know, I don't think we have any plans for Sunday. I think we have like rest planned for this weekend, trying to get better so that we'll be able to do a full week next week, because I would really like to. I felt really bad about canceling yesterday.
Yep.
Something about a shark do. I've only heard that song once. You won't believe me, but I've only heard that song once.
Trying to use this to see through your shirt.
Does it work?
You're hollow.
Ooh, that's kind of scary.
You have hollow boobs. But yes, thanks for joining us, everybody. Yeah, we're planning on being back tomorrow again. And Yeah, we're going to continue to ramp up for. I have to come up with a base idea because I could just use the same thing, but that's boring.
Well, I say if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, I mean, if that's what we make, that's what we make. Will it stand up? Will it prove its worthiness? So far, it has. Will it do so in the wasteland?
Will it survive?
Will it survive?
Will it survive?
No one knows. So we must science.
Yes, in a finale. All right, but that'll be it for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Bye.